Looking for a job can feel like a debilitating, never-ending cycle of rejection. You spend days crafting the perfect CV, scrolling through job boards, and submitting applications. At some point, our fingers just give out from spamming LinkedIn's quick apply button. You might end up finding a job this way, but for most of us, it's not very sustainable, and it's not going to get us where we want to be. We end up feeling stuck, frustrated, and left wondering, am I just unemployable? So what do we do about it? Well, I'm going to tell you, but first, a quick story about myself. It was 5 years ago. I had just moved to London and I was looking for my first job as a product designer. New country, new field. I really had no idea what I was doing. So I went after any job opening that I could find. I abused LinkedIn's quick apply button. And after a few months of no new interviews on the horizon, I really started to question if I was ever going to find a job. I got so desperate at one point that I started popping into random coffee shops asking if they needed any help, which they didn't. After a few months of beating my head against this brick wall, I took a step back and I really thought about what it means to chase a new job. I started to realize that looking for a job is a lot like building new relationships. You don't become best friends with somebody in the first 5 minutes. It takes time to build that relationship. You only really go after the relationships that you actually want and care about. Taking this back to our job search, rather than just throwing spaghetti against the wall to see what sticks, treating the job search like cultivating a lot of different relationships with people over time is a much better approach. It's how I've landed my last 3 roles at top tech startups in London. And in today's video, I want to share with you guys 4 really practical steps that you can apply to your own job search to land dozens more interviews. Let's jump in. Okay, so step 1 is all about identifying our target. Let's say you're just starting out your job search. You go to a job board or a careers page, go up to the search bar and nothing. You haven't even thought about what it is you want to apply for yet. So what do we default to? We maybe type in our current role, hit search, and then just kind of start applying for the first jobs that pop up. Speaking from personal experience, this is not a good approach. Instead, let's take it back to the building relationships metaphor. You ever been in a conversation with someone that you felt like didn't really want to be talking to you? We can always tell, right? And it doesn't feel great. Looking for a job as a last resort or a quick solution makes you the person in that conversation that doesn't really want to be there. And the company you're applying for, the person you're leaving out in the cold. That company will pick up on whether or not you want to work there, even at pre-interview stage. So to change that, step 1 is all about identifying what it actually is we're looking for. That's going to ensure that the jobs that we're applying for come from a place of excitement rather than a place of complacency. Also, it's going to make it much easier for you to keep going when the interviewing gets tough. Take a moment to think about what it actually is you're looking for in your next role. Is it the type of company, what they do, the size, people on the team? No matter what it is, write it down and create a mission statement for yourself. You can use that mission statement to really hone in on what it is that you want out of your next role. That is going to galvanize you when you're looking for these jobs, and it's going to make your application that much stronger. Okay. So maybe you were just laid off and you think you don't have the luxury of time to really sit down and think about what it is you want. Maybe you just need a job to pay the bills. I totally understand that. But trust me, just using the quick apply button on LinkedIn to apply for whatever you can is not going to make this process any faster. And we'll talk about why that is in just a minute. This brings us to step 2. Now, let's take it back to the first day of school. Let's say that you walk into the door of your classroom, you get up on top of your desk, and you shout at the top of your lungs,
"You're all my best friends now!"
Probably not the best approach. Instead, when we're meeting new people, what do we normally do? We put some feelers out there, we have some awkward small talk, and maybe it leads to something more. Out of 40 people in that class, we might become friends with 2 or 3 of them. Okay, so what does this mean for your job search? Here's what we're going to do. Instead of just applying for everything that's out there, we're going to be very targeted and we're going to take it back to the mission statement that we created in step 1, equipped with knowing what it actually is that we're looking for. You're going to find companies that genuinely excite you, companies that you actually want to work for. Then we're going to create a list. I use Notion for this, creating a table with a list of all the companies that excite me, and then a column with a status around whether or not that company is currently hiring for a role. If the company is hiring, that's great. If they're not, don't write off that company just yet. We're going to refer back to this list over the course of our job search. Equipped with our hit list, we're going to head over to LinkedIn. I'll use a personal example of mine. Let's say I really wanted to work for the company Supercritical. Since I'm a designer, I'll look up anyone that's working for the design team there. So I found Tom Cavill, and he happens to be the head of design. So I'm going to put Tom's name down in a column on my hit list as the person who will likely be in charge of the hiring decision for a role in my field. We're going to keep Tom in mind for this next step because he's going to be pivotal in helping me actually get an interview at Supercritical. This now brings us to step 3, which is pursuing your target. This is where it gets interesting. Now let's just take a step back and think about Tom from my example just now. Tom's a busy guy. He spends most of his week managing a design team for a fast-growing startup. He has a lot on his plate. And I can tell you again from working with people like Tom, he never has enough time to get to everything that he needs to get to. Now, that's not to say that Tom isn't great at his job. It's just the way things work at a fast-moving company for somebody in his position. Let's now add another responsibility to Tom's plate, thinking about whether or not to hire you. In this equation, you are just a piece of paper and a stack of resumes that tower so high, Tom will probably never even have time to look through all of them. Now, don't let that discourage you. There's a way to get around this. This is the part of step 3 that you might think is a little crazy. Don't apply for that job. At least, don't apply for that job yet. Remember, looking for a job is like building relationships, and part of building relationships is that they're a two-way street. In this relationship, you're the one that needs the job, but the company also needs to hire somebody that they think is a good match. The stakes are high on both sides. Hiring a great candidate can be just as difficult for the company as finding a job can be for you, the candidate. So what are we going to do? We're going to make the company's life just a little bit easier. Instead of applying for that job, we're going to send Tom a connection request on LinkedIn. Now, the beauty of connection requests is that you can type a little message with your connection request. You only get a couple hundred characters, but you shouldn't need more than that to let Tom know why he and his team and his company are a good match for your interests. Now, I actually sent Tom a message just like this back when I was thinking about working for his company. Let's take a look at what I wrote. Hi, Tom. Wanted to connect as I love Supercritical's mission and I'm really passionate about GHG and carbon removal. I'd love to get involved in the space and respect your background a lot. I understand you may not be hiring at the moment, but it'd be great to chat at some point about the things you're working on. Now, Tom's not the only person at this company that I could have done this with. The other way to approach it is just by finding somebody that you might already know who works there, or maybe a friend of yours knows somebody who works there. The thing that's important here is that you establish a connection with somebody there before you ever apply. So there are a couple of reasons why doing this is important. One, this shows that you are proactive, that you know what you want and that you're not afraid to go after it. 2, companies want to hire people that they can trust. This is about building relationships, right? And the element that is true for all successful relationships is that there is a large degree of trust. Establishing a connection with somebody who works there breaks down that initial barrier. And that internal person that you establish this connection with, the company already trusts that person. So having them vouch for you makes the company trust you to a certain degree as well. More than just being a piece of paper in a larger stack of paper does. This brings us to step 4, which is proactively chasing your targets. Now, this part of the process might require a little bit of patience, but trust me, it's worth it. Remember what we talked about at the start of the video, how not all relationships are born overnight or in the first couple of minutes of getting to know somebody? Establishing these types of connections and building these relationships can take time. The key with this strategy is that you can start doing it now. So this is where the hit list comes back into the fold. What we just did with Tom, we're going to repeat that process for every company on our hit list. And remember, this doesn't have to just be with Tom. There could be multiple Toms, or there could be other people that are just as worthwhile to reach out to. Maybe somebody just has a really cool job at that company that you want to hear more about. Any kind of conversation that you can have with somebody at that company that shows them you're interested is worth doing. And this is not just a one and done kind of process. That hit list is going to be a living, breathing document. I'm going to add companies to it when they pop up or when I find new ones that excite me. Maybe the timing becomes more appropriate at one of the companies that was on my hit list but wasn't hiring at the time. If you've read the book Atomic Habits, you'll be really familiar with this. Atomic Habits is all about not thinking too much about the end goal or the end destination. The end goal can sometimes feel like an insurmountable task or an unachievable achievement. That's just because end goals can sound really big when we look at them that way. Instead, what this process does is it shrinks that down into bite-sized chunks that you can repeat every single day. Even if you add 2 companies that excite you on a Tuesday afternoon, or find another Tom that works at one of those companies, all of those bite-sized portions will add up to helping you achieve that ultimate goal of finding interviews and landing a job that you ultimately want. Maintaining your hit list and being proactive about establishing these relationships will put you ahead of 99% of your competition. How do I know that? Well, let's take a look at what happened after I sent Tom that connection request on LinkedIn. So Tom got back to me. It did take him a couple of weeks, but he said he would be happy to have a conversation. And although they weren't hiring, he appreciated me reaching out to him. Eventually, Tom did end up posting a job opening. And he actually reached out to me this time, saying that it reminded him to reach back out to me and that I should apply for the job. And he would give HR a nod internally to look out for my application. Full disclosure, I didn't actually end up getting a job at Supercritical, but I was properly considered for the role and it got me to the interview stage of the process. And Tom isn't the only person that I reached out to in this way. I've been using this approach for the last couple of years, and it's helped me get my last 3 roles at top tech startups in London. Remember that you as the candidate are only half the equation. The company that you're applying for is just as invested. Helping them along by proactively reaching out and establishing a relationship builds trust and sets you apart from that stack of CVs that they may never even have time to go through. Now, the next step is to ace your interview, but we're not going to get into that in this video. If you'd like to see a video about how I approach interviewing, leave a comment down below. For now, start by identifying what it is you actually want, building your hit list, and then proactively making connections with people at companies that excite you and that you would love to have a job at. You'll be glad that you invested the time up front. Let me know in the comments what your approach is for landing interviews, and if you're going to try this strategy out. For now, I wish you all the best of luck, and until next time, see you later.